Hello YouTube and welcome to my channel. I am Feed Me Chicken. How the cluck are you? Right, well, the beginning of this video I want to start with something very important. Now, thanks to a lot of you guys out there, my channel's got slightly more popular. So I just want to give a few thanks, a few shout outs before I continue with this video. So the first things I want to do, I want to thank my drug dealer, I want to thank Ballistic Headshot, and I want to thank the boss, my wife. And I'll give these people thanks first because when I started this, obviously I was a bit nervous, didn't really know if it was something that you guys are going to watch. But in the beginning, they were the only ones able to give me feedback on what it was I was doing. So they helped me shape my early videos into the videos that you're seeing now. However, to gain the popularity that I'm suddenly getting, the first people I want to thank are Retro Chef, Danster, and Big Game Out. Now these guys had their own individual streams, all three of them, and on them, obviously Retro Chef introduced me to the community that have accepted me so far. Danster, again, rolled out the carpet for me on his stream. He gave me a big old shout out. And then Big Game Out. I mean, he's already building me up to be a legend. And I haven't done anything yet. But you guys, fantastic. Thank you so much for the shout outs on your live stream. You didn't have to do anything. I mean, the red carpet was absolutely 100% rolled out for me. I'd like to give a shout out to Nerdy Geezer and the Retro Bear. On their channels, they've given me shout outs as well. Again, I don't deserve it, but I am extremely grateful because from your shout outs, I've had more people view my videos. I just can't express my gratitude. I'd like to say I've had very nice conversations with David Tyler Game Hunter, Ink Northerner, and Koopas World, as well as Goodwins Place. With some of the pickups I've already pre-recorded. Koopas World has shown interest in some of my Wii stuff, and Goodwins Place, we are moving on with our trade that we did from Retro Chef's Swap Shop, which is a fantastic idea, and I really do hope that just grows wings, feed it some Red Bull, and then it just fly off and do its thing. So, with all of that said, I now get to echo what Gamezone birdroom said when he said about the community being an absolutely fantastic place. He was not lying, and I completely echo that. Right, now that I've done the important thing in this video, you guys are coming here to see what I have got to show you. So, enough of me talking, let's go.
CEX purchases. No footage for this one, but as you can see, the game is Gladiator Sword of Vengeance for the PlayStation 2. It cost me £1. The reason for no footage is I don't have a working DualShock controller, which this game requires. So, no footage, but it is complete, which is nice. Here we have Shadow of Rome. This game costs £2. It's missing its manual. But the last two that I've just shown, they've been on my radar for a little while. But watching people's picks for games that are underrated, I saw these after seeing a few of those videos and thought, well, they're cheap enough. Let's just pick them up and let's see if they really are underrated. Right, a game I hadn't heard of, which is Earache Extreme Metal Racing. This was due to me watching a YouTuber by the name, or a YouTube channel by the name of Virtual Gaming Libraries. Now, they've done a few videos in which they compile games from different regions on one console. So obviously I've watched through the PlayStation 2 video they've done, and this was one of the games that I hadn't seen before, and the footage that they put on there intrigued me. The premise is that the whole heavy metal thing is that the music in the game is from heavy metal bands. You run over, as you can see, these zombie-like people to get like weapons to use, and the grates that you see there are obviously speed boosts. And I'm rubbish at it. It's time to buy off of Facebook. First up on Facebook Marketplace, Super Mario 64 on the DS. Now, when I originally contacted the seller, this had already sold. However, they came back about a week later and said that it wasn't collected, still up for sale. And at £2, yes, £2, I was like, yes, please. Right, so you're going to see Wii Fit Plus, and then you're going to see Wii Play are the first 3 games in quite a large bundle for me to get from one seller. But before I go into this story, before you get cozy and sit down and just hear me ramble for a bit, I just want to take time to point out Scooby-Doo on the Wii. Not a game that I am advising people go out and buy, but just a game I wanted to point out that surprised me. And what surprised me was the way that those who made the game made sure that the voices matched the lips that were moving on screen. Now, for a Wii game, for the makers of a game to take that much attention to it on the Wii, I thought said something for the care they took within the game. I got to admit, the canned laughter in it bugged me. I don't like the way they put the canned laughter in it. It really felt like an afterthought. However, I can't help needing to point out the fact that it did surprise me that they put so much effort in making sure that what was being said on screen looked like it was meant to be said. So yeah, Scooby-Doo for the Wii surprised me in that sense. Right, moving on to the story of how I came to have these games. A gentleman that I work with, and I work with a great bunch of people. You know, where I work, there's so much banter. Everyone gets along with everyone. But I looked on Facebook Marketplace, as you do, just seeing who was selling what locally and what it is I might be interested in. There was this ad that for £20, all you see is the first page of whatever they put up. And there was about, I think it must have been about 9 Wii games. So, as you do, out of curiosity, I clicked on it to see if there were any other games that were being sold within the £20. And lo and behold, it wasn't just those 9 Wii games. I think it was maybe 4 more, and there was some PlayStation 2 games and some Xbox 360 games. When I looked at who was selling it, I recognised the seller. Like I said, it was a bloke that I work with at work. I get on with him great. So I messaged him anyway. I said, well, I didn't know you were selling like computer games. Because that's not what he's into. He's a guy who will do something, then get bored, and then it has to be moved on. But he was like, no, I'm selling them on behalf of my in-laws. You know, they've had them in the house, and they said, look, just sell them, see what you can get for them, or otherwise they're going in the bin. Well, obviously, me being me, I was like, whoa, don't bin them, you know. I mean, I'll give you like a £5 for them, and I'll only do that because obviously you get something for them. I mean, the games that are here, I've already got, so I'm not actually interested in having them for myself. It was like, well, basically, like, why do you want them? Well, I've said to him, look, these are items where, you know, I could possibly trade them on and get something like that I do want. And obviously, you know, where I've started YouTube, and a lot of people at work already know that I've got a YouTube channel. You know, if I can trade it with another YouTuber, that would obviously help me, you know, just prove that I'm trustworthy. Or if I can't do that, then, you know, I can trade it on elsewhere and again, get something that I want in return. And he was cool with it. He was like, well, look, I'll keep you informed. If no one comes for it, then I'll take you up on your offer. That's fine. No problem. So about a week passes. Obviously I make the odd ask you a question here and there. Have you had no one interested yet? Because it was still on the marketplace, you see. He's like, no. Anyway, probably about a week passes, and he actually comes up to me and he goes, you know those games? I was like, yeah. He goes, the in-laws chucked them. I was like, what? No way. He said, yeah. He said basically, obviously they must have just been, they must have just seen it. It was just sitting there, and it means nothing to them, So obviously they went, which is fair enough. So we were talking, and I happened to ask, well, when did they chuck them? And I think they chucked it on the Tuesday, and round our area the bins got taken on the Monday. So he was really great. He was like, look, I'll have a look. If they're still there, then you can have them. I was like, I'll be really grateful you can have a look for me, because there are some good titles in here, and you'll see the better titles in a few minutes. And lo and behold, he went looking for me. He said, look, I've got them, and you can have them. So I went and collected them, gave him the money, and here I am showing you guys. Now, the games themselves, as you can see, I have made sure that they do work. I've probably tested each game from anywhere between 15 to 20 minutes just to make sure that they work, because unfortunately the games all contain scratches, and they're multiple scratches. They're not just like the odd surface scratch here or there. These would be CEX rejects straight off the bat. However, they do work, and I had no issues with any bits of gameplay being interrupted for what I played. So I'm quite confident that when I move them on, they will still be able to be used by whoever takes them off me, sort of thing. So that was good. That's good. And like I said, there are some solid titles in here. The only games that I won't be able to show will be the Xbox 360 ones, because not only are the cases just non-existent, but the scratches are just way too deep. There was no point in me even testing them. But they're only Skylanders ones. They're only kind of like a penny in CEX. There's no value to them, and there's no need for me to try and trade them for something else, because I don't think I'd really be interested in them. So they've gone. The only other game that unfortunately did work was Crash Tag Racing for PlayStation 2, which is a shame. What happens is you boot that one up, and it gets to the screen where it checks your memory card, and unfortunately that's where it just doesn't allow you to click OK. It doesn't go any further. I don't have a disc buffing machine, so I obviously cannot buff the disc to see if that will make it work. So yeah, when it comes to Crash Tag Racing, that is the only one that was a shame that it didn't work. Again, this is not me sounding like I'm ungrateful or anything, because I'm absolutely not. That's not what I'm trying to get across at all. Again, the person who I work with, he was fantastic. He went that extra bit for me just to see if the games were still there. As I said, the games work that you're seeing on screen, and these will all be up for trade or selling or whatever it is that I am able to do with these games. And as you're seeing now, we're getting into some of the good titles, certainly on the Wii. We've got Donkey Kong Country Returns here, to which I have already, like I said, and this is a great game. It definitely takes you back to the SNES-tastic era. So you see what I did there? SNES-tastic, yeah. So But yeah, it was a brilliant era of games, wasn't it? You know, so many classic games, and Donkey Kong Country being one of them. So again, another classic game. A series is, I think, everyone can definitely say has gone from strength to strength, and that's Metroid. I unfortunately fall into the category where I have not played the NES version, and obviously I haven't played the SNES version. So those games are obviously creeping up in price. At some point or other within my collecting lifespan, I will discover those games, I will play them, and I will probably enjoy them. But I think my Metroid adventure started for the GameCube. I have the version. I found missing one of them on the GameCube. I have the Wii versions, and they're enjoyable. You know, they're a lot of fun. But obviously, they took they're obviously not the left to right, right to left side scrollers anymore. Obviously, they are first-person shooters. And here we have moved on to Super Smash Bros. Brawl. I'm not, as the series has evolved from console to console with Smash Bros. I think the phrase will be is I haven't been able to evolve with it. And what I mean by that is obviously on the N64, which is when I started playing Smash Bros. I found the controls to be really easy, really intuitive, and I blended quite well with the game. But as the series has evolved, and obviously the console and controllers have become different, I was alright with the GameCube one, that was fine. But when it moves on to, as you can see, the Wii, I found the controls slightly more difficult to get to grips with. Now, obviously, you can buy the adapter to plug the GameCube controller in, or if you have the 4 ports on the front of your Wii, you can plug a GameCube controller in, no problem. But just using the standard Wii controller, I've got to admit, I struggled to get to grips with this game. Doesn't take anything away from the game, don't get me wrong. I mean, the adventure mode you can go through to get characters to then join your team, it's fully evolving. You know, you want to get on to the next bit, you want to see what's there, you want to carry on. It definitely does all of that for you in this game. It's just a shame that as the game moves on and goes to the next generation of consoles, I fall further behind. But that's it. That's just what it is. So we move on to the PlayStation 2 games now. We have Shrek 2. Again, it's just not my type of game, really. I simply wanted to make sure that these games work so that, like I said, if I'm able to do some business with anybody, you know, they know that at least I've tested them, I'm not lying, they work, you can see it for yourself right now. So yeah, that's Shrek 2 on the PlayStation 2. So here's a game that never really caught my imagination with regards to the film or the books, and it's the Chronicles of Narnia. I have absolutely no idea what's going on or how it's relevant to the story, but again, even though it doesn't interest me or capture my imagination, I'm hoping that someone somewhere out there is interested in this and wants to take it off me. But yeah, Chronicles of Narnia is for the PlayStation 2. I've got to say that I do like the way it transforms from the film or the outtake to the game. That's smart. Here we have, I believe, Harry Potter. Again, another franchise that I just couldn't get into. I really couldn't get into Harry Potter. But others do. It captured a lot of people's imagination and grew into a very, very wealthy, very thought after franchise. So here is one of the games that they made for the PlayStation 2. And finally, there is Spider-Man. What more can you say? As soon as you see him on screen, old Peter Parker, you know what it is. I mean, there's a lot of people who are definitely better experts within the Spider-Man game library than me. I'm not sure if this is one of those ones that is actually any good to play, but the PlayStation 2 version of Spider-Man. It's time for the cyber pickups. Let's hit up eBay. Now this I thought was a bargain. WarioWare DIY, do it yourself. This was a purchase at only £2.64, and as you can see, it's got everything that I was looking for. Manual and game and case. All good. Now this was a game that came from me watching that video Virtual Gaming Library's YouTube channel. I had never heard of this game before. It's called The Plan. When I was watching the footage, again as you're seeing now, I was really captivated by this style of storytelling. As you can see, it's kind of comic book style, Max Payne-ish sort of presentation. Again, seeing some of the gameplay. If I'm right, which I could be completely wrong, you get to switch between characters and then kind of, I'm assuming you basically like do certain things with them to then allow others to do the next part of the mission that you are doing. But yeah, when I was watching the footage, I was like, this game looks really interesting. Could potentially be a sleeper on the PlayStation 2, who knows? But once I do actually give it some time, I will know. So I'm really looking forward to this one though, all the same. Like I said, the way that it breaks away, it breaks up the story in a sort of comic book fashion. I just think, again, from the gameplay I've seen, the graphics do look good. So, yeah. As I said, the game's called The Plan. I only paid £3.24 all in on this game. And I reckon this could be a sleeper on the PlayStation 2.
And that's all I have for you guys today. Or this month, should I say. I want to thank everybody who's helped me grow my channel so far, like I've already done before. If you're a new subscriber, or even if you're just here for the first time, thank you for taking the time to watch. Please consider the whole like, share, subscribe, and in the comments below, if you have found me for the first time, or you're commenting for the first time, whatever it is, please let me know how you found me, because if it's another channel that shouted me out, I may have missed it, and they deserve recognition. Down below, in the link below, you will find the link to all the channels that I've mentioned, because they deserve visiting. And you'll also see that I have set myself up a Facebook page. Now the reason for this is that I do have items that I would like to trade, or sell, or do something with. So obviously if you're not in the same group I've been accepted into, and you are someone who has, again, viewed me outside of the community that I was talking about, then please give my Facebook page a visit. If there's anything you're interested in, drop me a message. It'd be great to, great to deal with other YouTubers I have not mixed with yet. And the same to those who I already do mix with. If you want to see my items, please go to the link below. Well, you guys are absolutely fantastic. Thank you for watching, and take care.